Dear student, welcome to Business Studies class. So we are in the chapter of forms or types of organization. So far we have studied three types of organization: sole trading concern, Hindu undivided family, then partnership. In this video we are going to study fourth type of organization, that is cooperative society. So what is cooperative? This means helping each other. Helping each other. Now, what is the meaning of cooperative? It means working together or and with others for a common purpose. All of us have a common purpose, same objective. If any organization or any association is working for same purpose or same objective, which is called cooperative. There is a word meaning of cooperative: working together or working with the other. Why? Just for reach our goal. All of us have a common goal. To reach that common goal, we are working together. It is called cooperative. Now, we have the concept of society, cooperative society. Now, what is cooperative society? It is a voluntary association of persons who join together with the motive of welfare and protect their economic interest of the members. It is optional, it is voluntary to work together. Here the person join together with the motive of welfare. We have formed association or society for the betterment of people or for the motive of welfare. The purpose of association, the motive of association is welfare and protect the economic interest of the member. It is called cooperative society. It is a voluntary association. Anybody can join our association or society. If they don't want to remain in the society, they can leave our association. So it is the voluntary association. What is the purpose of this association? The welfare or betterment of the members. Again, to protect the economic interest of the member. This is called cooperative society. Now, the society is compulsorily required to be registered under Cooperative Societies Act of 1912. As you know, the registration of partnership firm is optional, but registration of society is compulsory. According to Cooperative Societies Act of 1912, it is compulsory to get registered the cooperative society. The process of setting up a cooperative society is simple. The formation of society is very simple. It has very few legal formality. It needs permission of 10 adult persons from the society to form the society. Got the point? The formation of society is very easy. We need the permission or consent of 10 adult persons. Now, what about the capital of society? The capital of a society is raised from its members through issue of shares. Now, society, they issue share to the members through that they raise the fund. It is all about the capital of cooperative society. I repeat now, the registration of society is compulsory under Cooperative Societies Act of 1912. Again, a setting up or formation of society is very simple. It has few legal formality. It needs consent or permission of only 10 adult person. Then how they raise the fund? They raise the capital or the fund by issue of shares to their members. It's all about first slide. Move on to second slide. What are all the features of society? First one, voluntary membership. Anybody can join our society. The membership of a cooperative society is voluntary. A person is free to join a cooperative society and can also leave any time as per his desire. There cannot be any compulsion for him to join or quit a society. There is no compulsory, there is no compulsion, there is no rules to join to society as well as to quit the society. This is called voluntary membership. Now, what is the second feature of society? Second one, legal status. As you know, the registration of society is compulsory. This should be registered under Societies Act. After the registration, the society get distinct existence from its member. After registration of society, the society can enter into contract and hold property in its name, and it can lodge or it be lodged by others. Of registration, a society can file a case against other party or third party. Even third party, they can file a case on society. This is all about legal status. As I said, after registration, the company or society, it get its own existence from its member. Members and society, two entities, two separate existence. The society gets separate existence only after registration of the society. Registration of society is compulsory. It's a second one. Third one, limited liability. The liability of the members of a society is limited to the extent of amount contributed by them as capital. When it comes to liability of members of society, it is limited. This means in case of heavy loss of society, the personal asset of the member is not liable to pay the debt or the loan of a third party. It is called limited liability. Next, fourth one, control. In a society, the power to take decisions lies in the hands of elected managing committee. The right to vote gives the members a chance to choose the members who will constitute the managing committee, and this lends the cooperative society is a democratic character. Got the point? The society, it has democratic character. This means all the members have equal voting right. One person has one vote. One person, one vote. Each and every member of society has right to vote then they have the right to elect managing committee or management committee for the management of a society. It is all about control. So society is controlled by elected members. Who elects member? Who elects the committee? Members, they elect the managing committee for management of a society. It's all about control. Now, fifth one, service motive. The main purpose of society is to serve the society. The main purpose of cooperative society to serve the society. Its purpose lays emphasis on the values of mutual help and welfare. Hence, the motive of service dominates its working. The service takes priority in its working. If any surplus is generated as a result of its operation, if society earns some profit or surplus, then it is shared or distributed among the members. It's a service motive. Keep it in mind. The main motive of cooperative society is service. The service takes the priority in its work. If they earn any surplus or profit, then it should be distributed among the members. It's the fifth feature of cooperative society. Now, look at next concept, merits of cooperative societies. First one, equality in voting right, irrespective of amount invested by the member. Each and every person has single vote. One man, one vote. If one member invested 100 rupees, another member invested 1 lakh rupees, but both of them have only one vote. One man, one vote. This is the first merit of society. Second one, limited liability. The liability of members of a society is limited. Third one, stable existence. This means death of any member does not affect the continuity of a society. If one partner died, then the death of that member doesn't harm anything for the existence of the society. This is called stable existence. Then fourth one, economy in operation. The main purpose of society is to serve the society, for welfare of society. The members generally offer honorary service. This means the members, they work for the society without any payment, without any fees, as the focus is on elimination of middlemen. The main purpose of the society is to eliminate the middleman or broker so that they can reduce the cost. The customers or producers themselves are members of society. If it is consumer society, consumers are the members of that society. If we have producer society, then producers are the members of society. Hence, so that the risk of bad debt is low. Only 3 points are here. One is the members of society, they work for the society for no fees. Then their focus is to elimination of brokers or middlemen so that they can reduce the cost. Then who is the member here? If it is consumer society, consumers are the member. If it is producer society, producers are the members of that society. So risk of bad debt is lower. This is the fourth one. What's fifth one? Support from government. If anybody have formed cooperative society, then they get the support from the government. Government, they give subsidies, then low rate loans, then low tax, then low interest rate on the loans. As I said, the government, they may give some support. First one, subsidy, then low tax, then low interest rate. Then come to next one, sixth one, ease of formation. It is easy. The formation of society is very easy. Its formation is governed by the provisions of Cooperative Societies Act of 1912. The minimum members is 10. 10 adult members, they can form a cooperative society. Then it should be registered under Cooperative Societies Act of 1912. Now, move on to next concept, limitations of societies. First one, limited resources. Resources of a cooperative society consists of capital contributions of the members. With limited means, the low rate of dividend offered on investment also acts as a determinant in attracting membership or more capital from the members. So in the society, the members are given low dividend. That means very less profit. So the low dividend doesn't attract more fund from the members. So it is facing the limitation of limited resources, very less resources. Second one, inefficiency in management. Management don't have any efficiency, because when you come to society, they can't hire experts to their work because they can't pay more salary. If they can't pay more salary, then they can't hire expert managers to the society. So this may lead to inefficiency in management. Next limitation, lack of secrecy. As per Societies Act, once in a year they have to call for annual general meeting. In that meeting, they have to disclose every information to its members. So there's a lack of secrecy. It's difficult to maintain secrecy about the operations of a society. It is the third one. Fourth one, government control. As you know, government gives low rate interest loan, then they give some subsidy, again they give relaxation in tax. In return, the societies should be answerable to the government in terms of auditing of accounts, submission of accounts. So for this purpose, in this way, the society has to answerable to the government. So here, government's interference is there. Government controls society. It may negatively affect its freedom of operation. The hold of the government control may affect its operation, its freedom of operation. Fifth one, difference of opinion. Internal quarrels of members, internal disputes of the members. may result of contrary viewpoint, may lead to difficulties in decision making. If there is a difference in opinion, automatically it leads to the dispute. Then if society has dispute, it's very difficult to take any decision. This is the fifth one. Now, next concept, types of cooperative societies. First one, consumer cooperative. Second one, credit cooperative. Third one, producers cooperative. Fourth one, marketing cooperative. Fifth one, farmers cooperative. Sixth one, housing cooperative. First one, consumer society. Here, the consumers are the member. The consumers cooperative societies are formed to protect interest of consumers. Here, consumers join together, then they have formed one society. It is called consumers cooperative society. The consumers cooperative society comprise of consumers. Those who want good quality product at reasonable price, then they form one society. The aim of the society is to eliminate the middleman and to reduce the cost. Here, the consumer society, they purchases goods in bulk, goods in large quantity directly from the wholesaler, then sells goods to the members. So this is the consumer society. Consumers, they have joined together, then they have formed one consumer society. Here consumer society, they purchase goods in bulk, goods in large quantity, then sell it to their member. So the members, they may get the quality goods at lower cost. This is the first one. Now, the main motive of consumer cooperatives is to provide consumers goods and services at reasonable price, at the low price. Consumer cooperatives are form of free enterprise, owned and managed by consumers for their own benefit. It is more focused on giving services and does not have profit motive. The motive of society is not profit, just to give service to the member. Now, some examples of consumer societies: credit unions, housing cooperatives, health cooperatives, food cooperatives, nursery or child care cooperatives, electric cooperatives, utility cooperatives, and other cooperatives. It's the first. Move on to second one, producers cooperative societies. Here, the small producers, they have set up one society to protect the interest of small producers. Got the point? Small producers, they have formed one producers society. The members comprise of producers desirous of procuring input for production of goods to meet the demands of consumers. The society aims to fight against big capitalists and enhance the bargaining power of the small producers. It supplies raw materials, equipment, and other inputs to the members and also buys their output for sale. It is formed by small producers. If small producers, if they want any raw materials or equipment or other input, now the produce society, they purchase raw materials, equipment and other input to their members. Again, they also buy their output for sale. This society, they buy the goods or output of the small producers for sale. For example, Servants of India Society. It's example for producers cooperative societies. Third one, marketing cooperative societies. Such societies are established to help small producers in selling their product. Now, who is the members here? The members consist of producers who wish to obtain reasonable prices for their output. The society aims to eliminate middlemen and improve competitive position of its members by securing a favorable market for product. It pools the output of individual members and performs marketing functions like transportation, warehousing, packaging, etc. to sell the output at the best possible price. Some good examples are milk cooperatives in Gujarat, Maha Grape and cotton marketing cooperatives. So it is the marketing society. Who is the member? The small producers, they are the members. They have formed one marketing societies for sale of their output. This is the third one. Now, fourth one, farmers cooperative. These societies are established to protect the interests of farmers by providing better inputs at a reasonable cost. Now, who is the members here? Farmers are members. The aim is to gain benefit of large scale farming and increase the productivity. Such societies provide better quality seeds than fertilizer, machinery and other modern technique for use in the cultivation of crops. Here farmers, they have set up one society. Here they get the good quality of seeds, then fertilizers, then equipment and machinery for their cultivation. Some examples are Indian Farmers Fertilizers Cooperative Limited, the Krishak Bharti Fertilizer Cooperative Limited, then Amul is a famous Anand Milk Union Limited. These are all examples for farmers cooperative societies. Now, fifth one, credit cooperative societies. Now, it is established for providing easy credit or easy loan to their members. The members comprise of persons who seek or who want financial help in the form of loans. The aim of such societies is to protect the members from exploitation of lenders who charge high rate of interest on loan. Such societies provide loans to members out of the amounts collected as capital and deposit from the members and charge low rate of interest. Now, the persons, those who want loan at a lower rate of interest, then they have formed one society. It is called credit cooperative societies. Now this society, they collect money from their members, then they lend loan out of their capital at very low rate of interest. This is the fifth one. Examples, Dattatreya Maharaj Sahakari Private Limited, then Adarsh Credit Cooperative, then Riddhi Siddhi Cooperative, Then Mahesh Mahila Nagri Sakari Pune. These are all the examples of great cooperative societies. Now, next one, cooperative housing society. Now, the people, those who want construct a new home at a very reasonable cost, then they form one society is called cooperative housing societies. These are established to help people with limited income to construct houses at reasonable cost. The members of these societies consist of people who are desirous of procuring residential accommodation at a lower cost. Those who want house or residential accommodation at a lower cost, then they can become a member of this type of societies. Examples: Sangeet Nagar Cooperative Housing Society Limited, Telugu Film Producers Society, Nalanda Cooperative Housing Society Limited, Akhil Karnataka Brahmins Welfare Society. These are all the examples of cooperative housing societies. Okay. Thank you for watching this video. In next class, we are going to study joint stock company.